played at the beginning.
I ain't done with them. We just, you feel me? That's just total dominance right there, man. That's 4 straight in Commonwealth. Before last year's fluke win, it was 5 straight over the Cats, and it shows it was an outlier. Last year, Steven Johnson, best game of his career he ever played right there. Dude came out yesterday, looked real normal. Looked extraordinary out there, man. Looking like Bubbles from The Wire, man. Get this dude out of here, man. Yeah, gave him all that love all year.
We just restoring order in basketball, man. That's all.
Yeah, we ain't done with him. And he's talking about next year, Drew Barker, man. That dude's gonna come in and be horrendous back there.
We gonna see, man.
He's gonna see.
We good.
He's getting ready to run into the same problem that Joker ran into when he sacrificed getting a younger player experience over getting a few wins and becoming bowl eligible. Joker did the exact same thing. You went with this veteran quarterback, Steven Johnson, which you can't blame him at Kentucky with the history of football. With the history of football, you got to go for 7 wins and get bowl eligible if you can. So he rolled with Steven Johnson. Ends up 14-9 over Steven Johnson's career. That gets you bowl eligible the last 2 years.
Who do we have, though?
Should have been rolling with Barker if you had him.
I mean, we had Barker. We threw Barker in there.
What would have been the difference at the end of the year with these beatdowns y'all took from Louisville, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, you know?
Now, beatdowns had nothing to do with and that has nothing to do with
next year, when you throw in Barker, and he's green, and he's out there getting his ass tore up, and he don't make it through the first 3 games next year, Bama's back on the schedule.
No, we don't have Bama. We don't have none of this. We don't have none of the studs next year. We got.
I gotta keep avoiding them.
Don't worry about what's going on, man. We got almost the same schedule as next year. You may take out Southern Miss and add Central Michigan, but it's not even it's not the offense that does any wrong. Steven Johnson was more than capable, but when your defense shows no heart. It shows no heart at all this whole season. You get into a fight, you ruffle some feathers, and you at home. And after you do all that, you still let a team come down and score 7 straight times. No, I can't put everything on. I'm more than fine at what Steven Johnson did this year. That was all he could do. He was the best of him. I didn't expect more from him, but I did expect more from having all these so-called studs on defense, and we didn't see none of it. We so-called got 3 to 4 top 3 round picks on our defense whenever they decided to leave, and they didn't show it.
Well, to wrap this up, I want to ask you guys: the regular season is over for both the Cardinals and the Cats. What are your predictions on what bowl game they'll go to, and who would you like to see both teams play?
The early thoughts, they said they're in running for the Camping World Bowl in Orlando, Florida.
Camping World?
Yeah, Camping World Bowl in Orlando, Florida. It's a bowl game where it'll take a ACC and a Big 12 opponent. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. It looks like some of the early opponents could be Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia are all in the pool for Big 12 teams who could end up. And ACC, you got Louisville, NC State, and Virginia Tech are in the pool that they're pulling from. So with the game being in Orlando, fans could get there.
Yeah.
It's December. It would be December 28th, so it wouldn't interfere with the basketball game. It would kind of, but we're on the road this year, so ain't no tickets in rough. So you look at that. I couldn't. Tax Slayer Bowl's on the table as well. I believe that's another bowl that's in like Jacksonville, maybe. So that's on the table. Finishing 8-4 was big, and to hold steady in the division. So I believe they probably ended up. When you look at the division final standings, they probably ended up in 3rd behind Clemson and NC State. So with Florida State having the fall off they had, so they should end up with a solid bowl. So looks like they're headed somewhere down South Florida. They love Florida.
Yeah. I mean, we travel well, so I think that always comes
with all the Florida kids. At least you get a chance for their families and stuff can get to the game easier, and they can all get them tickets and
makes
stuff.
A lot of sense.
So if they end up in Florida, I wouldn't be mad. So 4-4 in the conference. In the Atlantic Division, we finished 3rd with an 8-4 overall record. So
not bad.
They held serve and finished with some good momentum. So I'm looking forward to what the bowl season actually brings for them. They're gonna get a chance to get a lot of young guys reps to coach them up. He'll also have a decision. I believe we'll probably hear more on, Lamar Jackson and his possible decision. I would think probably by a bowl game we would know if he's going or not. And at that point, you ask yourself, do they, in a game that's really, it's a win and loss on your record, but at that point, do they, if Lamar has decided, do they split time with him and pass in that game to get past prep for his first game versus, because the bowl season is what it's to prepare the next year's class to get all those extra practices, and you kind of, your scout team, it's y'all turn, y'all up next, spring ball starts in 3 months. So that's what I really got an eye on, and getting some of these young guys some reps and preparing for the future, man, with the ball, and see what a couple guys got decisions to make, Lamar and Jair, whether they're going or coming. But outside of that, a lot of promise, man, and good to finish with momentum.
What we looking like on the cat side, man? Where you think they going, and who would you like to see them play?
If it's up to me, hopefully we go to the Music City Bowl in Nashville, which is one of the possibilities. But it's either there, the Belk Bowl in Charlotte, and the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
We going to the Liberty Bowl,
which all of them besides the Liberty Bowl falls on the same day as the Louisville, Kentucky basketball game. The Belk, if we go to the Belk Bowl, it'd be at 1 o'clock, which we're not gonna do that because it'd be exactly the same time as the Louisville game. So we're not doing that for sure. Which the Music City Bowl in Nashville, which to me preferably is cool, is closer. The game's at 4:30, so you'll be able to watch the Louisville, Kentucky basketball game in your hotel room. Then bam, go to the stadium.
Plus, I think the Belk is versus the ACC team.
Yeah, the Belk will be versus the ACC
and the Music City.
The Music City. The Liberty Bowl, which will be it'll be a Big Ten team.
Big Ten, okay.
And then the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
I think y'all would fare better against ACC team.
No, anywhere besides the Belk. Anywhere.
No, I'm just saying matchup wise. Like
anybody.
I ain't tripping on a Big 12 matchup because I think we can go out there and do what we do against a Big 12 defense and put on a show.
We'll probably get like a Wake Forest.
Yeah, that'd be Wake's tough though. But that'd be a good matchup for y'all if y'all get a Wake.
Y'all could steal the playbook this year.
You gonna see.
So how would you cap off UK season?
Of course, I was pumping the 10-1. Was my motto this year, 10-1. But I did say the bottom that I would take would be 8-4. That I seen the team, which was there besides the Florida game. Every other game besides the Florida and Ole Miss, we kind of knew. I still gave y'all the Louisville game for the simple fact Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But 75 is cool. If I had to grade the season, it'd be a C+. Only because some of the games, the defense hasn't got better. Some of the games that we lost because of just, as we seen in the Louisville game, no discipline, no heart. From the Florida game to the Ole Miss game to the Louisville game. And we finished third in the SEC, which is actually better than finishing in the bottom part of the SEC East, so that's actually good. But great season. Benny ended the season well. He should be a first or second team All-American next year, first team All-ACC. And offense got better, our line got better, a couple players got in that I wanted to get in with Drake Jackson and Landon Young got in there. Hopefully Dorian Baker come back, Cole Mosier get the red shirt and can come back, and we just get back to work. Stoops need to figure something out. Let Eddie Graham run the offense that he wants to run, and he just worry about the defense. Sometimes he try to be a head coach. He stretched himself too much and want to focus on the offense because he wants to be a ball control offense instead of focusing on the defense. Then we need to fire our defensive coach, Steven Klinksadale. I'm sorry, dude, but ever since you came on, our defensive backs have gotten worse and worse every year. So you either need to fix it or you need to be let go on your job. I don't want nobody to lose their job, but it has to be either or being a fan. So C+, 75, 4-4 in the SEC, third, decent.
So great season by the Cards and the Cats. Been a very great eventful season from both teams. You can always find coverage of the Louisville Cardinals and the Kentucky Wildcats on 5KY Sports on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You got all the information, all the notes, all the videos, all the highlights that you need to see for both teams. We're going to take a quick break. It was a big weekend in college football. It was rivalry week, so we got to dive in and talk about some of these games that went down over the weekend. We'll be right back. Welcome back to 35KY Sports. So over the weekend, it was a big weekend in college football. You had rivalry week, and as you heard over the clip in the break, man, Alabama took a loss to Auburn over the weekend in the Iron Bowl. Did y'all expect Auburn to come out to play on that level with Alabama?
Man, after Auburn came out and beat Georgia the previous week, the way they handled Georgia and stopped the run, and that defensive line, the slugfest they played with Clemson earlier in the season on Clemson's home field. I mean, I don't think any Auburn fan or football fan should have known they were coming in to give Bama everything they wanted. And I mean, they did that yesterday and really just shut down Alabama and everything they wanted to do offensively. So 14-26 victory by the Tigers, man, and the mighty Crimson Tide, fall for their first game of the year.
As long as Jalen Hurts is the quarterback at Alabama, they're done for. They're not the Alabama. He's not even a very good game manager. No disrespect to the dude or his capabilities, but he hinders what Alabama likes to doing what they do, because you can sit there and stack against the run because he's not Lamar Jackson and you have to worry about his passing also. You just have to worry about his running. So I won't say I'm surprised, but if you really watch the game, and you see that Auburn literally dominated that game. The defense dominated Alabama's offense. I'm surprised at that. Then they had a couple bonehead mistakes when they actually was driving the ball in the fourth quarter. They had a chance to drive. They had 2 fumble snaps with the center, where the one was when the running back went up and tapped the center and the center snapped it, and they didn't get it. Then the second one was when Bo Scarborough was clapping and the center thought it was him, was the quarterback clapping, then he threw it over the quarterback's head. So it did when they went to the camera with the dude running off the field, like, I have never in my life seen them go back to the camera and look to see if they could throw a penalty on the team. I have never seen that in my life. To see if they hit. So that kind of made me feel like they was trying to make Alabama win the game, but they just couldn't. It was a great game. I'm glad they lost, because now they still give Miami a chance to make the playoffs. And another thing is, I think this gives a chance for them to leave Alabama. If Miami win next week, they can leave Alabama and Clemson out of the playoffs for the first time since the playoffs been going. So it may attract more viewers, because now it's not gonna be Clemson or Alabama in it next year. You may have Miami, Wisconsin, Oklahoma.
Balance it out a little bit.
You balance it out a little bit.
It's good for football in general to have different fan bases get a chance at it. From the complete dominance of Alabama over the last decade of college football has kind of been too much, and it gets old. It wears people out a little bit. Where you're like, are we even playing the same game? And so the new playoff format doesn't work as well as the BCS did for Alabama.
No.
That was more, structured, I would say, in a way, basically. Kind of set up for them to be there. And now there's a real formula behind it in a playoff field to where, if you're not in the top 4 at the end of the year, can't nobody just magically put you in that BCS game just because, this is an attractive matchup. No, you got to be in the top 4 teams. And everybody's kind of playing on the same field now.
Picture a Final Four with Georgia, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, or Miami. Just one of them type of fake. Viewers will watch that because you don't know who's going to win that game.
Yeah.
Last year we knew it was either Clemson or Alabama.
Look at the fan bases you bring back in. When you talk about Georgia's got a stronger fan base as anybody in the country. I know they would
get back on that level.
Yeah, I know they would be ecstatic to be in a playoff.
Yeah, and they already said Auburn's getting in it after they beat They beat 2 number 1s in the same
it's all
season.
matter,
So,
man.
and if they beat Georgia again, they're going to be in there. You can't, because that's going to be the SEC team you put in there.
Pull that up. This little thing right here.
But it's kind of it was good for college football in the playoff system to have them lose. Now other teams just need to take care of business, and it will be an exciting season for football, playoff wise.
So, we got to bring it up. Both your teams lost over the weekend. First Kentucky, and then Miami.
Well, first Miami, then Kentucky.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I'm just talking about your dominant team, but Miami tricks up to Pittsburgh. What happened, man? What happened?
Cold weather.
24-14.
I think that cold weather got to us, and then we try to bench Malik Rozier. I don't even know, like,
What are you doing that?
yeah, why do that this far in the season when he done already won us 10, 11 games? You know what I'm saying? Why do that to get in dude's head? And you put in that Sheriff's kid. No offense to the Sheriff. It just wasn't a good time with what we was playing for. Had we won that game and we lost to Clemson, we still had a chance to make the BCS playoff. Now Miami has to win. It just wasn't a good game. We've been playing in warm weather for so long. We finally go to some cold weather in Pittsburgh, and they beat us. It was a trap game. We knew we was in the ACC championship game for the first time since we've been in the ACC, so we already knew, and we was looking ahead to Clemson, and they got us.
Yeah, I think it was more. That was just a mental lapse of a game. A toll of the season, all the big games, and like you said, one eye on Clemson, and moving forward. You can see with the way Clemson took care of business yesterday, beating South Carolina 34-10 and really dominating South Carolina.
It was way worse than it was too.
That game could have been 50-7.
It was bad.
So to come out for Clemson to have that type of focus just shows which team mentally is ahead of the next, just because of Clemson's. They've been on this big stage the last 3 years. So
our players ain't used to it.
Yeah, so now Miami is in the same position where you got a chance to run the table. You're playing against a team your favorite to beat, and you come out and lay an egg and score 14 points, and now got all type of controversy going into the ACC championship, benching your
quarterback that got us
for no reason. I mean, if the loss
if
you're a coach and the loss doesn't hurt you that much, you're still in the ACC championship with a chance for the playoffs. Why bench him and mess with his mental?
Yeah, that's.
But I guess this is what Georgia fans was talking about with Mark Richt. He always lose that game. They said, but it's still a great chance. But we shouldn't have lost that game.
And now you got an uphill battle with a Clemson team who now is starting to, hitting fire back on all cylinders. Kelly Bryant's back at quarterback,
looking
healthy.
good, yeah.
They kept the hits off of him in that South Carolina game yesterday, so he's going to come in probably at 100% for the first time in a while.
I like our chances, though.
The defensive line is stout. That defense is still who we think they are for Clemson. That's going to be your problem, is that defense is who we think they are. I think you all's defense will keep you in it as well.
But can our offense and offensive line do that? We're going to have to pass for over 300 yards to beat them. We ain't going to be able to run like we do versus them. We're going to have to pass.
And need to speed the tempo up at times and keep them off balance. Just coming out there, snapping the ball with 5-6 left on the play clock and running a methodical pace versus them. That's a recipe to get you hit. That's a recipe for you're looking at a 24-10 type game. That's what you.
Miami on top though.
The Tigers going
Miami
to
on top, man.
Playoff.
What y'all think about that Ohio State-Michigan game? Ohio State comes out on top again.
Ohio State always finds a way to be in the mix at the end of the year. I think it's just the setup of the Big Ten, how weak it is, honestly, that Ohio State can repeatedly take 2 L's or an L in conference at the end of the year and still be lurking on the outside, ready to get in. It's the freaking Buckeyes. Every year they are on the outside, basically ready to pounce and get into the playoff. And you can't keep them out of them. They're one of the strongest. When we talk about fan bases, program, tradition, players, I mean, yeah, they are a blue blood of college football. And I mean, they'll play an undefeated Wisconsin team who's 12-0. If they beat Wisconsin, That's probably their best win of the year. One of the biggest wins of the season it would be.
You think that pushes them in the playoffs?
Probably so. They beat Wisconsin.
Me personally, I don't think they get in. I really
At
don't.
number 9 right now in the playoff ranking, and if you beat, and more than likely Wisconsin will move up to 4. They'll move up a slot.
3, probably 3.
3.
Clemson 2.
If you beat them, because I imagine what they'll flip. Miami, they'll flip Miami to 5 probably on the outside looking
Hopefully
in.
4, because Bama probably go 3. Nah, I think they go shoot Auburn up, man. They go shoot Auburn up. Auburn getting shot up.
So,
but I don't think Ohio State. I just don't think. I think this year Ohio State gonna beat even if they beat Wisconsin. I think they gonna be the ones left out, because even if Auburn win before they put that 2-loss team on Ohio State, I think they'll go back to Bama.
True.
1-loss SEC. SEC just has that.
Because I don't think there's ever been a 2-loss team in it.
No, but if Auburn wins Saturday, Auburn will be the first 2-loss team to make it.
That earned it.
Yeah, they earned it
with that schedule they played.
Yeah, they definitely earned it and deserve to be in that playoff. So I mean, these last few weeks of college football, man, have been exciting, man.
We got the Big 12 championship, which will pit Oklahoma and TCU. And
Oklahoma thumped them when they played a couple weeks ago.
They still need to win it, though, Oklahoma. I don't think, because that would put them at 2 losses if they lose to TCU.
Yeah, they need to win.
The Big 12 has no respect, so they need to win it.
They need to win, yeah.
The Big 12.
I hope they lose. I want all these teams with 1-loss loser. If Miami win, it just makes it that much more easier for Miami. So, well, we went to
Alabama.
We good.
That's who you really make it. If Oklahoma goes and lays an egg in the Big 12 championship.
We want them to win, so Bama don't get in there. That's
if Oklahoma lays an egg and Ohio State beats Wisconsin, well, that opens the door back up for Alabama no matter what happens in the SEC championship. That's the way I look at it.
What's some of the other conference championship games?
We've got Miami Clemson representing the ACC. That'll be an awesome matchup Saturday night. Your Georgia Auburn SEC championship.
Auburn smashed them first time. So.
Ohio State, Wisconsin, the Big 10.
Let's go Wisconsin.
And in the AAC, we've got an awesome matchup with Memphis and UCF. 11-0 UCF versus 10-1 Memphis.
Memphis put up 70 points yesterday.
And UCF knocked off South Florida, the Charlie Strong-led South Florida Bulls yesterday, 42-49.
From what I seen, that was a great. Charlie Strong quarterback's tough down there. That Quentin Flowers kid, hey man, Charlie Strong got a stud down there, man. That Flowers kid, and whoever the running back is, Johnson, D. Johnson. I keep wanting to call him Duke, but that's not his name. The running back, Charlie Strong walked into some studs. That shout out to Scott Frost at Central Florida.
While we at it, got a shout out Coach Dante Pimpleton and Coach Willie Taggart. Both got West Kentucky ties. They wrapped up their first regular season at Oregon this year as the head coach and running back coach. They knocked off in the Civil War yesterday, Oregon State 69-10.
That game was way worse.
It was.
To finish the season 7-5, they'll go to a bowl in their first season, which is good. You know, they're rebuilding Oregon.
Jerseys they had on.
Yeah,
Nike blessed them. It was all green with it. It was hard. But there's rumors that Florida's talking to him. And that's who Florida. To me, if I'm him, I can see, but I may stay there. Like I don't like that going somewhere and leaving. Like
it's almost a conflict of interest. You got 2 big Nike schools, and it's like, are you gonna take one coach?
That messes you up
ain't gonna like
your career in a football circle.
Shows no loyalty.
You might as well stay there for about 2-3 years.
It just shows how thin the line is. He could have stayed at South Florida one more year, comfortable with a team which arguably he probably could have gone undefeated with. If they're 9-2 under Charlie Strong, and those aren't Charlie's players, Charlie don't play the same style or coach the same way.
That team is putting up points and stuff. That ain't Charlie's
style. And Charlie plays close to the vest. I watched the game earlier this year. Charlie, I'm like, what are you doing?
He held his team back
on the
this year.
team.
Yeah, he held them
with
back.
Charlie not putting his foot on the throat, whereas they're comfortable for Taggart, and they would have pushed, they would have put full go gas. So he could have been sitting there undefeated with the choice of Florida, Tennessee this offseason.
Check this column.
I know you can't blame
You can't
going
say
out
no to Oregon
You can't.
either.
You don't say no to that.
Yeah, you can't say that.
That relationship alone with Nike or whoever he's dealing with is gonna be longer in the end game for him.
But just big career-wise, and then where
Florida,
his ties
where you
are,
from,
it
and you
just
know-
gonna be major. You know, a brother on Florida sidelines as well in Gainesville. I mean, it's a pressure cooker in Gainesville, which I think that's one of the reasons why we saw Chip Kelly take the UCLA job over
What do
Florida.
you think about that? Is he?
He's got you in the Pac-12, man. The Pac-12 is a rotating door, man. So I mean, you look. We skipped over the Pac-12 championship game, but USC, Stanford are playing the Pac-12. I mean, you got to look. Washington, Oregon, UCLA, all these schools, Washington State, all these schools are capable of doing the same thing year in and year out. Like
Oregon,
yeah.
USC.
So in USC, since Pete Carroll's left, hasn't been the dominant team. They've had a lot of coaching.
They got talent, though.
Yeah, they've had a lot of coaching that has left the conference. When you look at Pete Carroll leaving, Chip Kelly leaving, you look at Harbaugh leaving Stanford, they've had a lot of coaching talent leave. So a resurgence now with Taggart, Chip Kelly back in the conference. You look at what's